Let's jump down to trending. First one. So we're just going to talk about. I'm going to run just the top 10 viewed games on Twitch so far through 2019. So League of Legends is actually at the top. It's actually above Fortnite, which I found a little bit surprising. Although I don't know why. I feel like I probably should have just expected that. But League of Legends had 512 million views. Fortnite had 465. And then coming in third was Just Chatting, which isn't a game, but I actually kind of want to talk about this because this was really surprising to me. I'd love to harp on this like the entire time, but Just Chatting came in at 373 million. Grand Theft Auto 5 had 269. Dota 2 237. Apex 181. CS:GO 178. And then closing up the top 10 at 8, 9, and 10 are all Blizzard games. Overwatch at 127, Hearthstone at 121, and World of Warcraft at 119. So I don't know how you guys feel about those stats. But surprising to me, I think League number 1, Just Chatting number 3, and all 3 Blizzard games like coming out at the back end of that 8, 9, 10 was also a little bit shocking. But
yeah. League of Legends is a big surprise to me. I mean, it shouldn't because I think that it's a game that doesn't have any borders. You know, people all across the world play it. They have hotspots in Asia, you know, Korea, huge League of Legends players, and a lot of places in Europe. So that shouldn't be that big of a surprise, but for some reason it is.
I think for League, like the pro scene in League is what really drives League, right? Like I think like the LCS production, like like how they put on, you know what I mean, like their production and their broadcast. I think real like that people want to watch that. Like it's cool. They do a really good job of like making it seem like a sporting event or something, you know what I mean, with how they cover it and like how they react. And I think with that new, you know, the League like view feature where you can like watch your favorite player or whatever, I think maybe that might have helped a little bit too.
Definitely.
Yeah, the pro view's really cool.
Bumped it up, you think, a little bit. When was that implemented? That was like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, or
they've been doing something similar to that all along, but yeah, I think it's more involved now. Better set up for it. But you guys are, I think Ben hit the nail on the head with League of Legends. Didn't we talk about that previously? That Fortnite, you know, isn't in China, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
League of Legends
Definitely.
is, and it's pretty damn huge over there, especially since you know they won Worlds last year and stuff. They're pretty hyped up about that. That's just such a huge market. I don't know if they use Twitch though in China. I don't know if they're allowed to.
I would think that they would not be allowed, but I'm not sure about that.
I have no idea.
Knowing that some of their other how they handle some other things, I think that would definitely not be.
But I mean, they're still a league, and they do still show the, you know, the videos either on YouTube or through.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how these numbers change when that law in Europe goes into effect.
Yeah, I think the League of Legends numbers would hurt because there's a lot of League of Legends players, and like the like Scandinavian and Eastern and like the more prosperous Eastern European countries, it seems like League of Legends is like really huge.
I mean, Dota 2 will probably take a huge hit too, as well from that.
GTA is still hot on this RP thing, so I think that's just kind of a trendy slot in this list. But
Yep.
Oh, so the law in Europe is just they can't monetize. Like a third-party streamer or content creator can't monetize someone else's.
So that would be for like the strictly the sub-only streams. No.
That's everything, right? You just can't.
Everything.
So, well, I mean, people could probably still stream, right? But they just can't make any money from it.
I'm not sure. I forget what Greg was saying. I don't know if it was just about money. It might have. I think it was actually that you just like can't like actually stream or use content that's not yours.
That's it. Yes, I think that's what you got.
It wouldn't just be the sub only. It wouldn't have anything to do with financial. It would just be like you literally can't stream League in Europe or like you or any games for that matter.
Which makes no sense whatsoever.
No, I've had a lot of trouble wrapping my head around it.
I don't know if we're understanding that fully. when we had first initially talked about that, I was thinking like the copyright stuff, like music, videos from or like scenes from a movie or something like that. Like anything like that, boom, you can't show that on Twitch, and if you do, you're gonna get shut off. But the games that there's got to be a loophole to that. There's no way that they would. That would be very silly.
Go ahead, Josh.
Just gonna say, it's surprising to see Counter-Strike finally starting to get dethroned.
Yeah,
like
been around
Apex
for a while.
is over.
I don't like to see Apex there. Ugh.
I think you'll see Apex out of there. Like if you did a second half of the year, I don't think there. It's just not popular.
Yeah, they're still riding that
Beginning of the year, yeah.
Yeah,
Strong.
they're
showing.
still riding that heavy. Okay, let's get into the just chatting.
I'd love to get into the just chatting.
What were you gonna say, Matt?
I was going to talk about just chatting. I feel like, I guess I kind of get why it's up there because it's such a broad genre that like anything can be there, right? It's like I understand why it has a lot of views, but is there that big of a market to like literally just watch people live sitting there talking? I've tried to look at it before. I can't last 30 seconds in this.
A lot of the people who do like the ASMR, they'll have just chatting on there as well. So you got to figure those ones that have multiple categories. A lot of people just put. I think some
ASMR. It's not like that big though. It's not.
Yeah. I'm just that was one example. I'm saying that people put just chat. Sometimes people will be playing a game and they'll put just chatting up.
Oh, do they?
Yes. Yeah. Because they're playing a game that's like Hearthstone, so a portion of the time they're just chatting. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Do you guys watch any of that? Have you tried to watch any of that?
Just the strictly just chatting. The one that comes to mind for me is the Andy Milonakis one, where he's going around LA and like talking to people and going out to eat and shit. I could see how people could get into that, I guess, but it's not for me.
I feel like a lot of it's just like booby streamers, right?
No, yep.
Which
it seems like famous people or booby streamers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that kind of garbage because like it's I don't know, it's kind of a joke to me, but whatever. But couple things I did like on Just Chatting. There's one dude. He's like played the drums. He was like a drummer, and he would play the drums to like gaming songs that people requested, and that was pretty cool. I didn't mind that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's a stream where like this dude, like he sells like Pokemon cards, and people like buy into the breaks, and then like he opens them live on stream, which was like kind of nostalgic. So I didn't mind that. But other than those couple things, like.
I think you're right. I think it's a lot of booby streamers.
It is a lot of booby streamers. And another thing is, there's a lot of streamers who like will do the just chatting. They'll go around, LA or something, like video game streamers that will like be like, okay, I got the fan base. Like I'm going out to make some fucking more money while I go out to eat some sushi, or go get some ramen down in LA or some shit, So I always see that. That's one thing that I see a lot of.
Yeah. Like, for me, it's just strange to like watch people eat. Like, what the fuck? Why would you want to watch that?
I just can't imagine like what stage my life would be in where I'm watching, instead of like doing something, I'm watching a guy go out to dinner and eat. Like I can just go out to dinner and eat. And I get with games, you get the experience of like watching somebody better than you, or like it's a game that you haven't bought, but like I can eat. You know what I mean? Anybody can eat. So it's
then you talk about the food. I like to talk.
I can talk about the food too.
I like it then. Well, you need to have the fan. You need to have the fan base. You need to have the viewership.
I could get on the food thing if it was reviewing.
Yeah. Yes. If someone's just eating it, they're like, this stuff's good.
I could too. It's a little bit of value.
They don't even do that. They're just generally. I feel like the people Ben's talking about aren't very entertaining outside of their video gaming.
No,
they're really good at the games, but they're like really awkward out in public. They're literally just like sitting there in silence, like smirking at each other, whoever they're with.
There's some really fucking awkward people on the just chatting. Like it's like there's like 500 people in there, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? They're literally sitting there. And one thing that I saw the other day, it's always suggested because I watch ASMR, so it always suggests Amaranth. I think her name is.
Yeah, you like her?
And no, I actually don't think she's very attractive. Very, very nice body, but facially, I think no. But hope that doesn't
clip that.
Yeah, you ever watch that?
But she was out eating dinner and like she was with a group of friends and they were all fucking had their heads in their phones and I'm like, I can't stand that. I don't know. Like
it was a little bit
too
much like real life. Yeah.
Like when we go out to eat, like I try to make it a point to like communicate, especially if it's like people who are my friends and shit, like make a point to like communicate and like talk about things that we have interests about or, you know, not about fucking work or anything, you know, actually like talk to someone, not like, you've seen that Einstein quote where he says like, I fear that we are, creating a generation of idiots through technology or something. I don't know. That's not the exact quote, obviously, but like, and then it like always has like pictures of like everyone in their phone and shit.
I've never seen that before in my life. I never have.
I wish we had I wish we could pull it up.
We could pull it up.
Yeah. It'd look funny on this overlay.
Don't worry about it.
In my personal opinion, a channel that you guys are saying is like kind of just dull unless they're playing games. And I enjoy watching him play, but Shroud.
Yeah.
If Shroud's not playing games, get out.
He's the human equivalent of cardboard, right? I mean, he's
he's a cardboard boy. He's a cardboard.
He's cardboard, yeah.
You know, say what you want to say about Dr. Piss Respect, but he is just all around entertaining in comparison to some of these other top streamers. You know, like just
I call him Dr. Shit Respect, but I like Piss Respect.
But Shroud is just like either play a game or get off.
Doc's built a brand, right? Whereas Shroud is just, he doesn't have a brand. His brand is that he's good at a shooter.
Right.
But he doesn't have a brand. And I was on Twitter today and Monte Cristo, Wolf and I's favorite person in the whole world, he was replying to something on Twitter, but he said something like, the question was, do you think that a lot of these popular streamers will be able to keep their brand popular like in the next 5 years? And his response was like, probably just Doc, because he has an actual brand and like a product where no one else has a product. I completely agree with that.
As long as Shroud's good at games, but there'll always be people who come up. Like even when Apex became a thing, there was that kid who was only like 18, who everybody was comparing to Shroud. You know, so
they're replaceable.
You can only be so good for so long, right? You know, and then like even like Ninja and Tfue. You know, like I think Tfue took a lot of Ninja's audience, right? You know, and who else?
Oh, for sure.
Who else was the guy who was like always getting jokes cracked about him with Pokimane? He did Rainbow Six Siege for a while, and then everybody quit watching him because they thought he was a sellout.
I don't know who you're speaking
glasses.
The one that lived with the
Myth.
Oh, Myth. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like you will see that a lot with like people who are really good at video games. I mean, they're really good for a reason, so they're not going to have those social skills, like
there's just a shelf life with that sort of popularity, I feel like.
Yeah, I think well, yeah. The main thing that I always harp on with Twitch is I think that a lot of the viewers who are like watching like Ninja and Shroud, they're young. And I think they're susceptible to being like fanboys for a long period of time until they actually like start to grow up and have some like real life experiences.
There's a good portion of those streams that are chat spam too. You know, a lot of people are just in there watching and listening to all the trolls on chat spam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think last point I want to make on this top 10 just before we leave it is Dave, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts, well, everybody's thoughts, but just about Blizzard having the number 8, 9, and 10 spot, because we've talked a lot about in the past like how they have the aging games population and their games aren't as popular as they used to be. But I mean, when you look at this, like, okay, you don't need to have the most popular game if you have 8, 9, and 10. I mean, that's more than enough viewership. It's more than enough money in market. So they seem to be doing pretty well to me.
Yeah, I think it's surprising that Overwatch is like that close to the other games.
Yeah, that is surprising.
considering how much like they tried to like brand Overwatch, and they tried to make it like like the marquee game.
The multiplayer game, yeah.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I'm pretty sure if you would like take out Overwatch League viewership, that like there would be nobody watching Overwatch.
I think you're probably right.
I think that has to be like over half of their views. Literally, it has to be. It's the only time Overwatch is even close on the.
I mean, I've heard. I mean, we've watched videos and stuff, and I've heard people talk about how that game's just like not that fun anymore.
Well, yeah,
I see a lot of people talk about playing it though.
Yeah, I just hear like people saying like the meta gets really stale and like it doesn't really change. It hasn't really changed that much overall. Like, there's not that much new stuff compared to like, like a league or something that has like continuous updates all the time.
I just don't understand why.
Like, and I think like if you have you ever watched Overwatch, it's miserable.
It's a hard thing
to follow.
Yeah,
it's not.
That depends on who's. Well, I think it depends on who's casting, right?
I love Monty and Doa, but it's still I can't watch it still.
Is it just too fast paced? You think?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's too chaotic. You can't like home in on everything. Like you have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Tim the Tap Man was alright Overwatch streamer when he was into that.
Yeah,
well, he's Fortnite. He's Fortnite now.
Oh, is he Fortnite? Okay,
and GTA role playing.
Why isn't Diablo on this list, man? What the heck?
Oof.
Strange.
Curious.
And, like,
I can't figure it out.
I'm surprised WoW's in the top 10 too, because WoW is like
what the hell is Heroes of the Storm?
WoW Classic.
Well, like nobody really watches WoW except for like the arena tournaments. People watch that, or
it's like literally just Asmongold.
Oh, dude, everybody's been streaming the classic beta. I think that might have made the cut here for June 30th. So
yeah, no, that helped. And then like people watch a lot of WoW like on a new raid release, because like Method and all the guys are streaming the race, and people like to watch that. And like the WoW arena stuff, people like, and obviously classic. But other than that, like WoW is usually pretty low unless there's like an arena tournament or like new content or classic. But I think with classic, you might see WoW start when it actually releases in August. You might see that jump up.